Alright, welcome to week 12 of the Innars series. And still no level increase, but it's basically confirmed that it's coming out in patch 3.0, but do expect a gradual increase. So next you want to check your casual tab and go to building and go to artificial island. Then you want to go back to casual and hit this present because remember you can only hold these resources for 24 hours. On top of that, your enemies are going to respawn tomorrow, so you want to make sure that you go around and kill all of your enemies, at least your bosses. And once it reaches 12 today, the mysterious vendor has a chance to appear on your island. But if it does not, you still have a chance to check your friends' islands because remember, you can get 8 free items from various friends/crew members, mysterious vendors. Which brings us to the fishing tab. Ideally, you want to try to get to level 9 so that way you can buy your standard major sea, and today we have crow. But if you're just starting out with fishing, ideally you want to buy 100 to 150 green bait so that way you can use your available bait for the week to buy purple bait until you have time to progress your fishing. Next, you want to do your Mia's Kitchen and your 4 bounties for the day, and I'm going to go with a sparrow because I find it much easier. Then we got vitality, starting with joint operations. For today, we have a chance to get a HumbleDK matrice. So if you have some vitality solutions and you need those matrices, it may not be bad to go ahead and use a few so that way you can get them earlier. But even if you don't need those, ideally you want to still do at least 1 JO so that way you can get your first time clear reward. Which brings us to interstellar exploration. You want to check Vera as well as check Aspera so that way you can see all of your stargates. And how you can tell if you have a level 3 or level 2 stargate, if this weapon battery category has a number 3, it's a level 3 stargate, but if it has a number 2, it's a level 2 stargate. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you could always do dimensional trials and simply click go and use quick battle so that we can use up all of your vitality. And you can do this for matrix drills as well as go. Which brings us to our optionals, and that's giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market and talk to Hopkins, see this island and do the claw machine, or knock out your 2 trainings for the day. On top of that, you can do your 8 fun zones for Mirroria since it's not going to really be used in patch 3.0. But if you have not cleared out most of the rewards in the Greyspace, you might want to go ahead and use your 6 Greyspace fishers. But the biggest rewards are in the Twilight zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait on this. And don't forget to do your racing before the month ends, so that way you can get your free 400 Mirror. And with it being the end of the week, don't forget to do your security force missions so that way you can get those old Vera coins in Mirror. And with it being the end of the week, hopefully you already talked to Rani and cleared out all the items that you need to get for the week. But just in case if you didn't, you can find them around here. And the main item that you want to get is the mini pelican shard, but it's still good to get the energy so that we can get that extra power and the potent omnium crystal because you never know when we might need a lot of those. And the last thing, don't forget your appointed research because remember you can only hold a grand total of 20 energy and you get 5 free energy a day, so you want to make sure that this does not cap. Also, if you enjoy these weekly guys, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way it can spread more on YouTube. Then we got our events. Hopefully you logged in enough times so that way you're able to get the supply run. We now have the Rubilia Gachapon to where I would say if you're a dolphin or a whale, it may not be bad to go ahead and do a few rolls on this using Tanium. But if you're probably like a free to play or low spender, I would most likely pass unless you really want this Rubilia skin. Then we have 8 days left of the new event Calling Melody. It's not really that difficult. You just need to match up the various residents/elements in a certain order. But one thing I did want to go ahead and point out is that there is a daily limit of energy, so this can really help give you some power. So at the very least, you want to try to get at least 800 points so that way you can buy your daily energy. Plus, this store offers a lot of really good rewards like red nucleus, visor shards, augmentation materials, and more. And just a reminder, there is a little over 8 days for the vote reruns, as well as Rubilia. Again, Rubilia is a high investment character, so unless you're really trying to max out vote, you may want to pass. But you could consider getting 1 copy because being able to quickly get in the air and fly around is very helpful, especially in the new zone. But it is not needed, but it is very helpful. And speaking of the new zone, patch 3.0 has been confirmed. It is coming out June 27th. We already have a video with Liu Huo being the premier character. So expect to see a DPS calculation guide for me in the future, discussing how powerful she is, as well as everything coming in patch 3.0, which should be coming out later this week. Next, we have our weekly guide. You want to make sure you do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top, which brings us to our challenges. So if you're trying to do something like the Bygone Phantasm or Frontier Clash, you may want to save your Mia's Kitchen so that way you can power yourself up, but starting with the Bygone Phantasm. So again, ideally you want to take a look at this weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus, then you want to go ahead and do this sneak to next level, and if your CS is high enough, you're going to be able to jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to get a high score here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole, you have a little over 2 days to go ahead and complete this so that we can get that extra energy crystal dust. Frontier Clash, you want to go ahead and knock that out so that we can get that golden gear. Origin of War, the difficulty is now dropping, so you have a little over 3 days to make sure you get all of the rewards. Void Rift, if this is the first time boss for you, you want to go ahead and knock it out. Void Abyss, you want to try to knock this out before the end of the month. Now for me, I ended up going as a flame DPS, and this is the tech that I used. But ideally, you want to have a strong healer and some very strong DPS. But one thing to note, that if you do have a rainbow team and you get rainbow buffs, they are very powerful and they can even compete with Dolphin and Whales. Raids, you want to make sure that you go ahead and do this before the week ends, and if you can't clear a challenge, then just go ahead and do Heroic, because all you really lose out on are a few clusters. Break from Destiny, you want to make sure you do this at least one time before the month ends so that way you can get those 250 Dark Crystals. Arena, if you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to shop, pots, and then you can consider buying your vitality solutions. For me, I already have some pretty powerful gear, so I'm going to go ahead and pass. But if you are trying to get vitality solutions, my recommendation is to get maybe 1 and at the most 2 tops a day. But one thing you do want to try to get every week is your advancement modules and your booster modules if you can afford it. Which brings us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust store. So you want to make sure you buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, your core control module, your augmentation factor, and your potent omnium crystal for the week. And if you need Vera special gifts, go ahead and buy those as well. Space Time store, you want to buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your data repeater for the week. And if you have some extra crystal shards, you can consider buying IP shards. Cruise store, now the only thing you want to spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are Omnium Shield, Space Time Rift, maybe a drone level 3, or hologram projector. Support store, you want to buy your gold, your Space Time crystal dust, and your Space Time crystal fragments. And if you can, even black nucleus. And with your return support points, you want to buy Space Time crystal fragments, your radar detector, and if you have some extra return points, you want to go ahead and buy proof of purchase and the gold nucleus as well. Point store, now the only thing you want to spend your points on are Spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you can always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. And with your critical abyss points, you can always buy clusters. But besides that, I really just recommend that you explore the map so that way you can get those extra resources, so that way you can roll on new characters like Liu Huo. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this and look forward to my everything coming in patch 3.0 video. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.